What's up, everybody? This is JazzyNe. I'm hanging out at DreamHack 2019 at the K. Bailey Hutchison Convention Center. Woo, that's a breath. I am spending a lot of time just gawking at the beauty of what is here. I remember DreamHack being in Austin the last time, I think it was 2018. I believe it was just last year. I didn't get a chance to go, but I was there for the first time in 2017. It was glorious. And so now we're up in D-Town, Texas, and I'm here with Mr. Jorge of CLX Gaming. And you guys, if you don't know who CLX is, let him tell you a little bit about the company. So,
hey guys, what's up? My name is Jorge or George. I am the marketing director for CLX. Prior to that, I was an analyst for Alienware, and I was the marketing manager, director, technical marketing manager for Origin PC. A little bit about what we are and what we do. So our parent company is Cybertron PC, been around for about 20 years. CLX is about 3 years old now. We launched it as the gaming arm. With the rise of gaming, we kind of rebranded, restructured a lot of what Cybertron was, moved out of the lower end budget space on computers, just because that doesn't give the true experience of what PC gaming is, right? There is a space for consoles, right? There's something that consoles are strong at, and usually in that $300 range, that's their space, because they can deliver something that a PC can't at that space, which is a great gaming experience at $300. Now, when you get into the PC side, you're getting, nowadays at least, you're getting into the $599-ish and up, right? I would say you could probably get something decent maybe at $599 with some limitations, right? You can't just grab all the sliders in the game and max them all out at $599. But CLX came in saying, well, our strengths are quality. Our strengths are, we know the end user and we are the end user, so we're marketing to ourselves. And something unique, right? If you want something affordable, but you want a brand you can trust, CLX is that brand. The events are how we show you that, right? We have 250 computers at free play. Well, don't just take it from us, sit down and play with them, right? And then the Stream Studio shows you our higher end, right? Here's what happens when you spend a little bit more money. When you want something unique, you can see the paint jobs. These are not paint jobs that we would consider to be stock.
Yeah.
This is all custom.
Yeah.
Pick whatever you want. Send me whatever you want. All right, that's all airbrush. That's not a sticker. That's not a hydro dip. That's not something that we mass produce. Even if I were to make two of the same paint jobs, they would technically be both one-of-ones because they're going to be unique. They're done by hand.
Right.
So we do that. So customization is also one of our strengths. But when you come to the Stream Studio, you get to see, here's what the higher end system can do. You're seeing them stream. You're seeing content creators on them. You're seeing professional esports players on them. That's what that goes to show you. So you can see that at the low end or at the more affordable end, you have our free play where you can just sit down, play with them. Everyone has access. Oh man, this is what a good affordable PC can get me.
Yeah.
And then you come over here and you go, man, this is what happens if I spend a little bit more money or I got some extra cash in my pocket. Some custom colors, custom paints, higher end graphics, higher end processors, you know? And again, Stream Studio is thanks to our partnership with, AMD and NVIDIA, which they are both our CPU and GPU sponsor on this. So they're our partner and help us make this happen, along with DreamHack, giving us the venue and the facility and everything that is what we consider to be gaming at its most pure.
Yes.
Right? People coming together to enjoy 3 days of just unadulterated gaming and full-blown nerdom.
Oh man, geekdom at its finest. I do happen to be, I'm not an avid gamer as some of the streamers are, but I get on there, and if I feel like killing dragons on my PC, that's exactly what I'm gonna do.
What you're gonna do.
Yeah, exactly. So how did the partnership between DreamHack and CLX come about? Because I know you did say that this portion of Cybertron PC was fairly new. Yeah. So how did that happen?
So a lot of it has to do with the relationship that our staff has. Me myself, I've been doing this for 17 years, so I'm a child of the industry.
Yeah.
I worked at EB Games for like 6 months, and then I was working at Alienware. Like, other than that, all I've worked for is computer companies.
Yeah.
It's Alienware, Dell, Origin, CLX.
Yeah.
So it's all computer companies minus 6 months at EB Games.
Right.
So
right.
I'm a child of the industry. So with that being said, 17 years in the industry, you get to meet a lot of people. I get to meet a lot of both people in the hardware side, software side, and event side. At a young age, I got to travel to DreamHack Sweden, and it left an impression on me. 20-something-year-old me in Sweden, seeing what's probably the pinnacle of LAN fests. You know, like, we're talking about a full-blown festival, music, computers. 20-something-year-old me didn't know what to do. And I said, why don't we have this in America?
Yeah.
Like, why don't we have something like this? And it took till 2017 or 2016, I can't remember right now, for DreamHack North America to really happen.
Yes.
And I found myself in a position where I can make a decision on whether we can be involved or not. And I did it for, honestly, 20-something-year-old me. I said, well, you know, this is your moment to make a decision on something. And we reached out to DreamHack. DreamHack was welcoming, open arms, and they said, you know, our ideals aligned. We did it out of passion. And I think you see that, right? Like, a lot of people go, well, you know, what's the return on investment on you having a stream studio where anybody can come stream? I'm like, well, we want to teach the younger audience, or those that just don't know how to stream.
Right.
We also want to make sure that celebrity streamers and content creators show up to these shows, because if they're not streaming, they're not making money.
Right.
So the easiest way for me to guarantee that you can show up is if I give you a location to stream from.
Good.
So you come, you stream, your fans get to meet you now. Now that's where we say we're doing this for the fans.
Yeah.
Because we're giving a place for your favorite streamer to come stream in his natural environment. Right? He's streaming, he's behind the computer, he's engaging, he's talking to everybody, but you can watch him do it live.
Right.
And then you can meet them, fan meet and greet, get an autograph, shake hands. But they don't feel like they're missing out because they're not streaming.
Right.
So they get to do it there. And that's, DreamHack felt the same way about that. Like, let's create a space for content creators to come out and engage with their fan base in their most natural environment.
Right. Look. Let them play. Just let them play. It doesn't matter about anything else.
That's what we're a fan of, right?
Yes, that's what it is.
Let them do what they do, and then that's how the partnership with DreamHack came out. We've been partners ever since, and we see ourselves as being partners for the foreseeable future. As you know, we just seem to be aligned, and DreamHack is, we can at least honestly say DreamHack is they do everything for the end user, for the attendee. I mean, you guys can see from the music choices that they have, the celebrities that they bring. It's affordable to attend. I mean, so yeah.
I mean, the attendees and everybody here get to literally walk around billions of dollars of equipment, and you're paying about less than $100 for a 3-day pass to be here and experience all of this. So this is amazing. Like, it's really awesome. And I honestly have to say that when I first saw all of those PCs out when y'all were in Austin, I was just like, this is heaven. This is beautiful heaven, colorful heaven. Now that I have a PC at home, I'm like, this is colorful heaven. I feel kind of bad because I'm interviewing y'all, and you know, it's not a CLX unit. That's okay. It's
cool.
okay. It's
you
okay.
Just built your first computers. That's a good thing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Anybody that builds a computer, gets a computer, and just one more person we bring into the PC side.
Yeah.
I mean, welcome to the dark side.
Hey, listen, look, y'all had me for years. All right, so okay, now this is something I thought was really interesting. I went on your website and I noticed that you guys use Egyptian gods to represent the different levels and types of products that you have. What caused y'all to do that?
So it's really interesting. So the parent company is called Cybertron.
Right.
There's some conflict there if you're into any sort of fandom.
Yes.
There's a bit of a conflict there, which me being brought in as head of marketing, I instantly saw some issues with trying to put dollars behind that name.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how CLX came to be. So we decided, let's branch out, let's create a separate arm, something that we can promote a little bit better, and the dollars go a longer way when you're not contesting that name.
Right.
That being said, our owners are Egyptian.
Oh.
So the owners of Cybertron are actually Egyptian. And we wanted to find a way to humanize the brand a little bit more. Not be so cold, right? Cybertron is a very cold name.
Yeah.
So we wanted to warm it up a little bit. So a lot of the influence actually comes from Stargate. So Stargate, right? If you remember the original Stargate, it kind of paints this picture of how kind of Egyptian gods came to be. So the storyline from our side is, just because we wield technology in a way you don't understand, you see us as gods. So my Ra unit might look like a god to you, but that's because the way we wield technology is just the way you don't understand. Right. Just like they say, it might as well be magic if you don't get it. Right? If you came right now and had no idea what a cell phone was and I handed it to you, you might as well just say it's magic. Well, how did those people get inside of that? And how is this moving the way that it does? It might as well be magic. So it might as well have been a god's creation.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's kind of where the whole inspiration for them being gods came from. Also, we feel like there's a lot to be said for people in owning something. There's a lot to be said for someone owning something and almost picking a side even within our company, saying, I choose Ra. You know, that's the system I want. I want Set. I want Horus. I want Scarab. And if you go into their storylines and you actually read through them, they all have a very aggressive stance of why they're the best, right? Like Scarab is small yet mighty. And in his quote, he even says it. He goes, if you look down upon me, then relish in the darkness that I bring, because in the story in ancient Egyptian mythology, the scarab was what made the sun rotate. So that just like the scarab or a dung beetle would move across the sand, and when it would move the dung across the sand. Well, the scarab moved the sun across the sky. So the scarab is kind of saying, well, if you're gonna shun me and you don't think that I'm powerful, then I won't move the sun back around and you're going to live in darkness. So every single one of them has their story. Well, Ra is the god. Ra is the sun god. He's the emperor. He's the mightiest of them all. So he's very arrogant about even the statements that we talk about how he talks, right? Ra's kind of like, I am the all-powerful. That's our flagship. That is the liquid-cooled one. That's the custom-painted one. That's the one that does all of that. Set is our channel SKU. Right? Set is what you find in Walmart. Set is what you find in Best Buy. Set is what you find in Amazon. Set are the troops. He was the commander, right? And as you go through it, you start to see that in all. Anubis is our thin and light. Anubis was sleek. Anubis was cunning. So he's our thin and light. Osiris was a more powerful warrior. That's our desktop replacement laptop, right? He's bigger, he's bulkier, he's gruntier, right? So all of them have interaction even between themselves. Like how Ra is almighty and powerful, Scarab is constantly throwing shade at Ra, right? Like, but I move you. Like, you might be the sun, but I rotate you and I move you. So doesn't that really make me just as powerful as you are?
Right.
You can't move without me. Right? And then Horus sits in the middle. And Horus and Set kind of fight all the time because where Horus is custom, Set is volume. So Horus is, what we would say, Horus is quality, because Horus is a medium tower chassis that can be painted and customized, while Set is our volume product that's in the channel, where he is quantity, he is units, he is volume, strength, and numbers, where Horus is more ninja, strength in the power of teaching one and making one that strong, and you know, it's Marines versus Army, you know, and that's kind of how we went with it. And I think that when people really start to read the story as we start to evolve it across the years with characters, embodiments, comic strips, things that we're thinking about actually building across the characters, people will really start to pick a favorite. They will pick, like, you know what? Yo, I ride with Ra. No, Horus is my boy. Like, that's who I'm with. No, I'm going with Anubis. That's who I want. And that's what we want to do. We want people to actually like the characters on top of the systems, you know? Give them a personality.
Yes, and it shows in the way that it's set up when you're going online and going through each product. And I have to tell you guys, it's very customizable. Like, I went through and I'm just like, I can pick this and this and this and colors and various processor sizes. You can customize everything down to the type of chases that you want. If you want your fans to have, if you want them standard, if you want them to have color or not. And Well, I have to ask, what is the most popular CLX build that you guys sell?
So the most popular build will probably have to be something featuring what we power the Stream Studio with,
right,
which is probably Ryzen processor with GeForce graphics. That tends to be a lot of what we're moving a lot of now. And it tends to be because of the price of performance. Ryzen processors are at a great affordable price right now with a lot of good performance. And you know, GeForce graphics have been the go-to from the masses for a long time. So it was a strong partnership, and I think the end user has really started to realize that. So that's become a lot of the combination. 16 gigs are now kind of like the standard of memory. It used to be 8 gigs, now it's like 16 gigs is pretty much the standard. SSDs, anywhere between, I would say probably now we're starting to see a lot of people gravitate towards, because it's become more affordable, like 500 gig SSDs. And then anywhere between like probably 1 or 2 terabyte storage drives, 750 watt power supplies, like systems averaging anywhere between $1,500 to $2,500 seem to be like the really good sweet spot right now. They offer a lot of the performance that people are looking for. And then, I mean, if you want something more affordable, we can take care of that as well.
Right. Yeah. And that's awesome that you have a medium ground that's pretty like where y'all's good soft spot is, and then you have the higher end, and then you also have something that's like, okay, well, I can't do this, but I can at least get something that's still just as powerful but affordable.
Yeah, we definitely want to. We don't want to limit people's access to the brand. At the end of the day, we definitely want to. We have ambitious goals as CLX, right? We definitely want to become, for lack of a better, the people's brand, right? Like we want to make sure that we're bringing in more while still maintaining a high quality. We want to be inclusive, not entirely exclusive, but Raw handles our exclusive side, you know? I mean, he's a bit arrogant, you know? That just tends to be how he is. So Raw handles, you know, our exclusive side. For those that really want best of the best, top of the line, one of a kind, and you want to be part of an exclusive crowd, then Raw's the system for you, you know? For everything else, you know, the rest of the gods are there for you. So
nice. So no matter what you're going through, guys, you got Egyptian gods ready to come invade your home and blow your system out. That's FYI.
My tagline is evoke the gods.
There you go.
So, you know, it's summon whichever god it is you want the power of at that moment, and, you know, the system's there to support you through whatever game, quest, challenge, climbing the ladder and rankings you might be willing to do. You know, we're there to support you.
Awesome. So now we know that technology is ever changing. Now, I know that CLX being as new as it is, do you feel like you guys will be able to keep up with the tech industry as it goes on, especially with how, you know, how very intricate even gaming consoles are becoming, like down to the wire. Like phones are becoming more powerful, being able to play better in the mobile game spectrum. So we'll see CLX be able to do that?
So
stay with it?
I think the strength with us is, one, at a high level, at the upper level, C levels, working our way down, the staff has a lot of experience, right? Like I said myself, I have 17 years of experience. You start looking at the staff that we have, then you start looking at the fact that our parent company, it's not new. CLX might be a new brand, but we've been around the block. You know, the parent company's been around for 20 years. The staff's been around, that we have professionals that have, you know, have decades of experience. And then you kind of look at it as like, okay, well, yeah, you're right, CLX is 3 years old, but that's just the brand. You know, the brand's here to stay, but we have the backing of a company that's been around for 20 plus years. So our parent company definitely has made it through a lot of changes in tech and in industry. And when you have a team that's that built with experience plus, you know, the backing of a strong parent company, yeah, I think we could definitely make it through whatever technology changes come at us. And we're definitely up for the challenge. So.
Awesome. So now this is something more kind of for you. What in your mind is the best part of being in the gaming industry on the PC side?
On the PC side, probably innovation. We don't just deal with games, right? We are about as close to technology as we can get, right? we deal with the innovations in processing technology, and we get to experience it firsthand. So we see the ability to multitask start to get better and better and more powerful. So the PC side just shows you not just the strength that it brings in gaming, but the strength that it and the changes that it has for everyday life. The ability to open up hundreds of tabs in Google, right? Like, I mean, as simple as that may be, but we get to experience. I remember the time where opening up, 20 tabs in Google meant slowing your computer down, to now where, like, if we're not opening up more than 50 or 60, it's not really slowing the computer down.
Right.
Like, you're getting to these moments, so we get to experience the gaming side and the effects that it has on everyday life. That's what the PC really is, right? It's the ability to say, I want a game right now, and then say, oh, I got to make sure that I take care of this other thing for work.
Right.
And if I'm a Photoshop guy, I'm a Maya guy, I am a coder, I am content creator of any sort, or I need to answer emails, or I'm running some online website, or I'm running an online shop, I can just say Alt-Tab, and I'm working, right? That's about as simple as it gets. So, I think that's the beauty of being in the PC side of it all. It's not just, we really aren't just games. Yeah, we're CLX Gaming, but the whole point of the PC is how quickly you swap between gaming and not. We literally do try to keep you productive, but we also give you a way to, hey, you need to unwind? Go ahead and get some games, and the computer's going to handle it just fine. So, I think that's the unique side of being a PC versus just gaming in general.
Awesome. All right, so we're going to flip the script a little bit here. Give us 2 fun facts about you. It could be something that a hobby you like, or like a weird talent that you have.
Oh man, fun facts. Well, let's start with a gaming one. So I'm a 2-time Grand Marshal in World of Warcraft. So, which was basically means I no-life the game for like 6 months. So I did. That's what happens when you almost fail high school because of playing video games. So fun fact there. And I was a professional paintball player.
Paintball?
Yeah.
Nice. Yo.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's probably one of my favorite sports to play. I love shooters, FPSs.
Yes.
So if you really want to get an adrenaline rush, man. So that's actually how I started. I got in because I loved playing video games, Counter-Strike, Quake, all that. A friend of mine invited me to go play paintball one time, and I got hooked. And
that was it.
It was actually the one time that I stopped playing video games for the longest that I can remember.
Yo, took the bruises.
I went straight to paintball. Like I thought it got me out of like gaming hardcore for about 3 or 4 years, where it was just I focused solely on like professional, semi-pro, and professional level paintball.
Yeah.
Because it was just like every weekend I was just like, all right, paintball field, like practice, going with the team, tournaments, and it was fun. I mean, I grew up in conventional sports. Baseball player, basketball player, football player. Paintball, I wouldn't call conventional, but athletic.
It was there.
And then gaming was just another form of my competitive nature.
Yeah.
So when I saw paintball, I was like, wait, real life kind of like FPS style, like
with no bullets.
Nah, I was like, I think I can make this work. Let's give this a shot. So I guess that's a cool fun facts.
Awesome. Well, guys, y'all heard it from the man, the marketing master himself of CLX Gaming, Jorge. Gotta put it in there. So one final thing. Now, most of our readers and listeners and fans and followers are geeks of color. If there was one thing you wanted to let them know as they're listening to this or reading this interview, what would you tell them?
Oh, man. It's weird because I just had a conversation with a couple folks about some stuff that we want to do. I mean, I think that there's definitely opportunities for all of us in the industry. Me, myself, I am an inner city kid. I moved from the Caribbean to New York City, single parent, I know what having it rough is, but there is something to be said about having some luck in your life. But man, nothing beats hard work.
Yeah.
You know, if you really want to be in gaming, if you really want to be in the industry, if you really want to make it, honestly, the beatings, the bruisings, the you can't do it, all this, that just makes you way stronger when you finally make it. Because I can tell you this much, I do not stress out over some of the stuff that other people do. Because I think, you know, some of the hardships I went through, at least in my life, kind of growing up, and again, inner city kid, you know, mom working 2 jobs, all that, single parent, I had to grow up a little sooner. But it kind of made it for me, at least, that when people stress out now, I'm kind of like, guys, you know, we'll be good. It's going to be all right. Like, you know, like, we can work through this. So there is a strength to having it rough.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, with everything that's going on, everybody being so divisive, and, you know, just keep your heads up, you know, and, you know, it'll get better. And, you know, just keep pushing forward. At least that's what it was for me. I knew I wanted to be in the industry. That's one thing that I knew I wanted, and I tooth and nailed my way into it. I started off in shipping at Alienware, so
yeah.
Like, I went from like EB Games, where I was like, yeah, I'm working with video games, only to realize I'm like, nah, I'm not doing crap with video games. I'm selling them.
Yeah.
This is not what I was thinking
Yeah.
at all. Like, this is definitely not what I was thinking, and I was just like, kept applying at Alienware, kept getting denied, and I just kept applying. Yeah, and then eventually I was like, oh, I'm in. Man, I'm in shipping, but I'm in.
You're in.
Like that's one step closer. Like, at least I'm not selling games. At least I'm getting closer to the building of computers and influencing a couple things, you know.
Yes.
And then I was able to get to the point where, like I said before, I mean, I feel like I made a decision to appease 20-something-year-old me, which was DreamHack, right?
Yeah.
That was one of the decisions that I finally got to a point where here's a decision appeasing gamer me that I can make that I feel is gonna also help everybody else who wants to see something like this happen.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, I mean, eventually your passion's gonna get you to where you can make a decision for other people.
And there it is. I'm putting that on a t-shirt. Thank you, Mr. Jorge, so much for hanging out with me. I'm kind of fanning my eyes a little bit. You know, that kind of brought a little water to my eyes. But listen, guys, there's more to come from DreamHack. We're definitely going to be staying in touch. I know you find us on Facebook. You'll see us on Facebook. This will be on Instagram, Twitterers, everywhere we can find, because we've got to get the message out. We've got to let people know CLX is here. CLX is staying. They ain't going nowhere. They'll be here all day, every day, throughout the year, Christmas, Thanksgiving, all of that. So we'll tune in to you guys a little later on the show, and boy, y'all hope y'all are ready for this story, because this is going to be awesome. All right, check you later.